Hello there. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to create a multiple tool agent using Google's agent development kit. So the programming language that I will be using is TypeScript and not Python. And the reason are obvious. So TypeScript is type safe, it is much more performant as well as it is ready for production. So that's why we will be using TypeScript rather than Python as such. And what we are going to create is we are going to create a simple agent with access to four tools. So that is what we are going to create and see how does it perform. So let's get started. So here I am. I have all the project initiated and completed. And what we have to do is we have to follow some steps which I already have mentioned in readme.md. So the essential requirement for you to copy this project is to have Node installed. So anyways, the GitHub link I will provide within this YouTube video as such. So GitHub link will be there. You have to clone it. But the essential point is you need to install Node, and there are steps how to do it also mentioned in readme.md. And what we are going to do is once you have Node installed, then what you can do is you can use this project to install all the dependencies. So what we are going to do is we are going to first of all install the ADK, which is Google's ADK for this. So once I clone my GitHub repo, what I can do is I can install Google ADK and it is going to use Node as such. So once we install, again in my case it is already installed, so there is no installation as such which has happened. Once I installed Google ADK, what I can do is I can initiate all the dependencies. So if you see, I have a file called package.json, and what I have done is I have all the dependencies which I have mentioned, including maybe Google ADK, TypeScript and all. So once you do this, you are going to utilize this package.json to install everything. So once I'm done, I'm ready to run this. So there are two ways to run agents as such. So in first way, what you can do is you can run this agent as such using this command, and I'm going to show it in a little while there is another way which is using the web interface. That's also we are going to explore. So first of all, what I have done is I have created this agent.ts, and if you see this file package.json, what we are saying is we are saying that the main file to run is agent.ts. Ts is nothing but extension for TypeScript. So that's what's happening here. So this is the main file. We are importing all the things which are needed. And what we have done is we have built four simple functions as four simple tools. So if you see, I have a calculator function. The another function which we have is a text transformer function. The third function is random number generator, and the fourth function is word counter as such. So these four functions form four tools as such, and what we can do is we can call the agent depending on the context can call these four tools as such. So the first tool which I have is nothing but it adds, subtracts, multiply, divide based on two numbers which you provide. So this is a simple tool. Another one is text transformer tool. What you can do is you can reverse lowercase or uppercase any string assets. That's what it tries to do. Again, this is a very toy example, but you get the point. The third one is random number generator. So it generates some random number. And the fourth one is word counter tool, which try to find out the number of words, characters, and sentences if you give some words or sentences. So that is what it tries to do. And then what you have is LLM agent created an ADK where you mentioned Gemini as such. So you mentioned which model to use. We are using Gemini 2.5 Flash. Here are all the instructions which are written, and here are all the four tools which are given. Now I'm going to run it and see how does it perform. So let me run it. So first of all, I will clear this. And then what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to my readme.md where I have all the steps mentioned. I'm going to run this command, which is going to run my agent as such locally. So it is asking for me to, provide some command as such. So let me provide one simple command, something like add 1 and 5, and let's see what happens. So behind the scenes you can find out what exactly is happening, and it gives me the answer. The result of adding 1 and 5 is 6. So it actually interpreted, the agent interpreted my query. It provides it the right tool. Now I can have something much more complexer. For example, let me say, something like uh, add, say add 1 and 6, say 5, plus also reverse string, let's say hello. So most probably it should call two tools. Let's see the answer. So it says the result of adding 1 and 5 is 6. The reverse of hello is this one. So it understood and it called both the tools simultaneously, and it was able to, invoke this. Now another way to run this is using web interface. So Google also provide a web user interface. So let's say, for example, I go here, I call this, it is going to tell me to, run locally as such. So if you see, it is running here. So here is my, agent running as such within UI, and I can provide the same command here. So let me say add 1 and 5, and the same thing which we did in console, it is going to provide here in, this web user interface. So it said that, it is going to invoke calculator. It invoked calculator, and it added and give the answer. So this is how you can run this. Now this was pretty simple toy example, but maybe in the next video section what we are going to see is how to deploy it. So there are plethora of deployment options that we can do. For example, you can do it in GKE, which is Google's Kubernetes cluster. Then you can do it in Cloud Run functions also. So we are going to see all those options in next video. So thanks teams, thanks for watching. Bye.